Well, hello YouTube. It's the Earl of Pipes, and it's a fine Louisiana Wednesday night. It is Ash Wednesday, and it's a little cooler outside. You can see I've got the heavier jacket. I know that's not unusual for the rest of the country, the United States. Right now, we've got a little bit of cold weather coming through. Tonight, I thought we would, or I give you my first impressions of Fillmore. And just kind of let you know what I think about that. I'm not a big vapor guy, and so, but for some reason they've been attracting me as of lately. I've been kind of desiring to smoke something other than English blends, something other than the aromatics that I've been trying, and so I bought some Fillmore and Haddo's Delight. I showed you that in a couple of videos back. Fillmore is a vapor, so it's a Virginia Perique, and here is the tin description from our lovely Mr. GLPs. A thick sliced broken flake in the Scottish tradition, ripe red Virginia tobaccos are combined with a generous measure of fine Louisiana Perique and then pressed to marry the components and deepen the flavors. The cakes are sliced and gently broken before tinning. Fillmore presents an elegant sweetness and delightful piquancy, enhanced by a creamy richness that develops throughout the bowl. Sit back and enjoy a lovely leisurely smoke. So that's your tin description. We'll see. I mean, that all sounds good, right? You've got sweetness, you've got creaminess, you've got all sorts of good things there to like. So let me crack open the tin. I mean, I haven't even opened it, haven't done anything. Let me see what it's like. Okay. All right, and so you can see I've already taken one piece of paper off, took that off, and as per usual when it comes to flakes, GLPs has got a few extra pieces of paper. I don't know why flakes require that, or Cornell and Deal and GLPs do that on theirs. I end up having to tear them off. All right. So, let's see if you can get that there. Sorry, I got a little monitor set up here, and I'm not used to having to go the opposite direction to see that. So, and so you could kind of break that out. But here's what you got. Broken flakes, right? Kind of the Cornell and Deal GLPs thing. You generally get broken flakes with theirs. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna kind of rub a little bit out, pack my pipe, and come back and smoke it. Before I do, I can give you the tin note. There's a lot of Perique in here. To me, at least there is. It's very pruny, figgy-ness. Not really raisins. It's almost. It's kind of stewed fruit on the sweeter side to me. And I'm guessing that's part of what I smell. Are the Virginias in there? I mean, obviously, right, is Virginia and Perique. And I think I'm getting some hay notes, but I smell mostly stewed fruit. So anyway, let me break up a little bit, pack my pipe, come out and light it, and I'll give you my thoughts. Well, I'm back. I've packed my bowl and a little what do I say, house keeping. I'm smoking this in a Peterson. It is an XL20, and it is in the Arclo series. I love the Arclo series. You can only get that at Smoking Pipes, but it's a wonderful little pipe, sandblasted, beautiful. They sell them for about 90 bucks at Smoking Pipes. Good looking little pipe, if you ask me. All right, let's light this up. Already in the just kind of the pre-draw, I think I'm really gonna like this. There's something going on here that's really special. Okay. Plenty of Virginia on my false light. Let's see what we get here in the true light. Well, the pre-light draw was better than that first little smoke itself. Maybe I'm just not a vapor guy. So let me kind of describe it, I guess, a little bit. A little bit of harshness that I don't like. I take that that's from the Virginias. I don't know if they're fresh Virginias. I don't know if it's like there's a bite to it. Now I'd assume that since it's red Virginias, it would be the same red Virginias from Union Square. And I genuinely really like Union Square. But even as I progress just a little bit, there's something else coming here it's a little chocolatey. I say chocolatey because I know it sounds weird to say that you see in colors. It's not weird to say you see in colors. It's weird to say you taste in colors. And I don't think I taste in colors, but I guess when I describe this as they're higher notes or brighter flavors, things I might associate with like citrus or caramel, hay, grassy notes of a Virginia. Those are kind of bright flavors. And then there's the more kind of molasses and darker flavors, earthy, mossy, woody. And so it's not like I see red, blue. I just see light, dark as I smoke. It's weird. But so when I say there's something chocolate, I just mean it's a darker, sweet flavor. And so that's kind of what you need to know when I say chocolatey. I mean, it's a dark flavor that's sweet. And the only thing I know that's dark and sweet is chocolate. Maybe Nutella. And now that it's going, it's mellowed out a good bit. And I would attribute that mellowing and that darker flavor to the Perique. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I would say that it is. Because now it is very mild. It's smooth. I might could do this as a vapor. Yeah. It's good. It's mild. Like I said, I'm getting, and it said it was a creamy smoke. I really think that's the case. There are a lot of smokes that people describe as creamy, but this one, there's a good bit of mouthfeel to it. I don't talk a lot about that in my videos. I don't normally recognize it. But this does have a good mouthfeel to it. The Perique's not spicy. Mostly just good old smoke. So I may do a full review on it and just kind of let you know after I've had some more time with it. It's not as tasty as I want it to be. I'm always disappointed with vapors. It's not the vapor's fault. It's not the blend fault. I just think the components I'm not as wild about as I am an English blend. I just like fuller flavors. Bolder flavors, and so I think that's the reason why I like English blends so much. So I'm a little disappointed, but not from a vapor standpoint. It's one of the better that I've had. Any of that kind of Virginia harshness goes away pretty quick and moves into a nice, mellow, smooth smoke. I don't know if it could ever be a everyday go-to, but it's a good smoke. But speaking of vapors, let's move into the deep thoughts section of this video. I lead an adult small group on Sunday nights. It's my wife and I and 3 other couples. But I lead a small group on Sunday nights, and we've been doing an Old Testament survey, and so we've been going through a lot of the Old Testament books. Actually, we're going to go through all of them, and we're left with the prophets, but that's all we've got left. I want to say we're left with the prophets. But last week was Ecclesiastes. And many of you will already know Ecclesiastes. You're familiar with it. But it's an interesting book. If you're not familiar with it, let me walk you through it very briefly. It opens as these are the words of the teacher, son of David, who reigned in Jerusalem. It opens up with you suspecting that the author is Solomon, right? He's supposed to be the wisest person who's ever lived. And the opening words are vanity, vanity, or really more like vapor, vapor. right? Not tobacco vapor, but like mist. Vanity, vanity. Everything is a vanity, or meaningless is how some translations. So everything is meaningless. And through the course of about 12 chapters, our author takes us through almost everything in life and says it's meaningless. Not something you expect to see out of the Bible, right? That it's supposed to give meaning to life. And here we have a book that's main message is how meaningless everything is. I say main message. I don't think that's the main message of the book. But with many modern English translations, that's what you would think. I think a vapor or a vanity is probably a better translation of, it's all uncertain. Everything is here, but only for a moment, right? A vapor, much like my breath. You probably can't even see it on camera, but my breath is forming a vapor right now. And our author says, I built houses, I built parks, I amassed great wealth, and I saw it was meaningless. Because even after all of that, I'm going to die and somebody else is going to have it. I don't get to take any of it with me. So I pursued wisdom, and I saw this too was meaningless, because the fools and the wise, they both end up dead. So I sought out pleasure. But I saw that really didn't make me happy either. And at the end, again, I'm going to meet my own fate. And so he walks you through just about every way in which you can look at life and try and find meaning and try and find security and certainness. And he says it's not there. I've seen those who've lived, basically righteous, perfect lives, and they've died early. And yet I've seen the wicked prolong their life. And he goes through just kind of life's riddles, the unpredictableness of it all. I've seen people work hard and yet be poor. And I've seen the fools gain great wealth. It's all meaningless. Really, so he seems to convey. But in the midst of all that, in the midst of reminding us that we won't be remembered once we're gone, and that's the truth of the matter, is that for most of us, we will not be remembered when we're gone. Your children will remember you. Your grandchildren will remember you. And if lucky, your great-grandchildren would have known you. And they'll remember you. But within 60 years of you having passed away, not many people are going to remember you. And so if you just stopped there, this would be a very depressing book and message, and in some ways it is. But our author, he turns it on his head, and he makes clear two things. One is that, so what can you do in the face of this? And he says, well, the first thing that you can do is enjoy all the blessings. I'm hearing your name, Padre. I'm hearing you're opening to your videos, Padre Piper. But you can enjoy all the blessings that he has given you. It's the whole eat, drink, and be merry. He actually says that. Eat, drink, and be merry, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. So what can man do? He can enjoy the gifts that God has given him today. So we joyfully receive both wealth and poverty, knowing that it could be permanent or it could not be. You don't know. So you joyfully receive what the Lord gives you. And then he basically says, after having said that none of it matters, and that nobody will remember you, and that there's nothing new under the sun, he stops and he says, but God will remember, and God will bring you into judgment. And so he flips the message of Ecclesiastes from being nothing matters to everything matters, because God will remember every person, every act. And even though you'll long be forgotten from the history books, the Lord will remember you, and so that your actions that you do today are ultimately of huge significance, right? And we as a Christian church, so this is written to the Old Testament church, to the Jewish people, we ultimately see that even clearer through Jesus and through what He's taught us, that there is life after death and life on this earth after death. Not we're just some disembodied spirits that are going to heaven, but that God was not content with leaving everything the way that it was. He was not content with His good creation being messed up. And so therefore, as we move into kind of, at least in the Christian church, a time of Lent, as we look forward and head towards Easter, we get to see more clearly that central truth that all that happens in this short life here makes a huge impact later in eternity. And that whereas Solomon in his day could say there was nothing new under the sun, with Jesus' first coming in Advent, something new did appear, and that God began to unwork all that had been lost from creation that saw man supposed to be more immortal and successful in everything that he did and took on. And now all that's been kind of messed up and put in disarray. And God, by sending His Son to die on the cross for our sins and to defeat death so that you and I can live on in eternity here on this earth, a real life, a real body on this earth, resurrected, is an amazing thing. So the book of Ecclesiastes, I encourage you to read it to see how much, if you're living your life as nominally religious, meaning you know the right things to say and the church answers, but if you're pursuing your meaning in life, in your work, and in your accomplishments, and in anything else really other than joyfully receiving what God has given to you, I think the book of Ecclesiastes has a message for you, is that at the end, all of that is utterly meaningless. The only thing that matters for you today is to joyfully receive the gifts that God gives you. And the biggest gift He's given any of us is the opportunity to be reunited with Him and His Son Jesus, and to be part of bringing His kingdom and the rework of His creation on this earth. So, with that, it's the Earl of Pipes. It's good tobacco, good conversation. I hope you have a good evening, and I hope this bless you. Good night.